there's not like any town I've ever been in before.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Cinema Circle, the show where we talk and do movie reviews of all your favorite releases coming out of Hollywood. The show that is for the fans, by the fans. I'm your host for today, Mr. Scenario Shaquille VonJevy, and joining me as usual is Kiki SB.
Hey guys.
And joining us for the first time on Cinema Circle, the girl who has a hand in like 90% of the work that I do, Miss T. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are
Hey
you?
Tanya.
Thanks for joining us. The movie we're talking about today is It. So let's check it out.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
All right, so we're back. We just finished watching It. And I think we're going to have to start with you, Miss T. Yes, because
Start with the expert.
we're going to start with the expert, the OG. Like, this is your shit. This is your movie, right?
Oh,
like,
cursor?
yeah, we can. Yeah.
Oh,
If it's
well, no, just joking. Yeah, no, I mean, OG in the sense that I grew up watching this movie. I watched it over and over and over again. I owned the VHS. And then inevitably bought the DVD, and then I watch it in my free time. I watch it just because there's something on in the background. Like I grew up watching it.
So let's start off
Yeah.
with the good of this movie. What did you find good about this movie?
Okay, there's a few things I found good for sure. The comedic relief between Eddie and Richie. I loved those two characters together. The banter back and forth between them was amazing.
I agree.
And the humor was dry. Like, they were kids, but they didn't hold back at how dry it was, which was real. As kids, we say things that our parents probably didn't hear us say. You know what I mean? So it was really, really nice to see. And it added to those elements when it was a little too intense, but then they throw something out there and you're like, okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I really love that.
Kiki.
I like the humor as well. It was kind of because it was set in 1989.
Yeah.
The humor was so fitting.
Yeah.
And one part I actually did like. I didn't mind the kids cursing.
Yeah.
I thought it was fitting.
At all.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
like that's what kids
yeah.
really do when
That's
their
what they
parents
really
aren't
do.
around, right?
Exactly.
So
it was
kids are
real.
so inappropriate. I really like that.
Yeah, they're so inappropriate.
So inappropriate.
Yeah, it was really
Anyways,
good.
the storyline, I like how they started off with them as kids. I actually wasn't opposed to that like you, Tanya.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I like that they showed it from when they were younger. Like I like when they showed what happened to Billy in the beginning, and I think the setting was my favorite part. The journey that they went on, like every time they were going through events in the movie, they were somewhere else. Like they were all somewhere else when it was happening.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed that. I like the creativity of that. I think the gang had good chemistry, all of them all together.
Definitely.
And
The
especially
Losers
them
Club.
Huh?
The Losers Club.
The Losers Club, yeah.
Yeah.
They all had really good chemistry. They're all really good actors.
Yeah.
For me, I would have to say the best part about the movie for me, I think, was the cast. I think that the cast, like, it's so hard, like, to find good kid actors. You know what I mean?
That have had depth to play. Like,
Yeah.
another good for me was Beverly. And the fact that in the original, you hint to her having a problematic home life. You hint to her just being the poor girl, everybody makes fun of her. But in
But
this
then
one,
she
they
showed
went
it.
in. They
They
went
showed
in.
Yeah. I like the feel of the movie.
Yeah.
I like the feel, and I like the little creepy stuff, the subtle creepy stuff.
Yes.
That's what I really liked about the movie.
Yes.
And I liked the dynamics of the kids. I thought that when you're handling a lot of characters, it's kind of hard to give everybody their due, and I think that they handled a lot of characters well. So
We'll get into that with the bad.
Yeah.
Right.
But they
But, like,
did
I think that
handle a lot of characters well. You're absolutely
okay,
right.
so let's just tell everybody where we're coming from. So I'm coming from a perspective here where this is the first time I'm ever seeing It. I knew about It. I knew about the cult following, whatever. But like, this is the first time I'm seeing It. She's the OG. This like It is like her favorite movie.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I watched it when I was younger, so it's kind of like blurry, you know, the exact events.
Yeah, the details of it.
The details
necessarily.
are blurry, but I
Yeah.
remember what it was about, you know what I mean?
and
Yeah.
she's a little biased because she worked on the movie.
Yeah, someone set up a couple of set pieces.
A
you
little
know.
set pieces there.
So can we derail for a little bit, tell you guys what I did on the movie? So I worked on set for 2 days, and I helped them build the tunnels that the kids were running through. So I actually got to help build it, and I got to run through the tunnels too.
Really, really
So how was that? Was it
You ran through
scary?
the gray water?
No. It wasn't at the completed. It was construction, you know. So like everything was like there's sawdust on the wall, like maybe there's some stucco on it to give it the texture.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the finished product, you know what I mean? But
that's still
it
big.
it was amazing.
And it's
like,
big to see it on the big screen, I bet, in the final.
And it's actually
use.
this life size, like
You
could
were in
run
it.
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. So
That's
that's
cool.
a little side note there.
Before you get off of your goods too, I also want to say Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
His adaptation was amazing.
All right, moving on to the bad. Let's talk about the bad of this movie. Who wants to go first?
Let's let Tanya go first.
All right, let's go, Tanya.
Okay, well, I have a big bad, but I'm going to leave that one to the last.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with like, my soft bads.
Okay.
Is Henry Bauer dead? I'm like low-key annoyed at the fact that they threw him down the hole.
Let's just be
Yeah,
real.
no.
I don't know if he's alive. If he's alive, cool. He's real mush up. But but like the head hit on those rocks,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It left
You know what?
little
I
to
didn't
think
even
he's
think
alive,
about. I
and
didn't
that's
think about that
that's.
afterwards.
Yeah,
I
I
just
didn't
want to know,
think-
like,
well, because you're coming from more
my
of a-
bads go from the fact that in the original you consistently went back and forth from adult to kid,
Okay,
kid.
so but like if you were to just cut that original out and just look at this as a movie.
That's it. Looking at it as a movie, I don't have a problem with the movie. What I have an issue with is knowing that there's a sequel. You kind of know what those characters become in the sequel, and if you start killing off characters in the early part. What
What are they gonna
changes
do?
in the
Yeah,
sequel?
okay,
That's
fine.
my issue. So it was the things that made them losers and their strengths that they used as tools to fight him. My biggest beef is they completely took Mike's character. If you watch the original, you'll understand that Ben and Mike. Ben is he's the fat kid. He's a little shy.
like him,
He's
though.
quiet.
I
Ben
like
was
him.
great.
I love
He was a
him.
nerd, but he was not the one that introduced the history of the town.
Oh.
He spent time in the library, and that was even referenced in the book, but he's like that kind of low-key quiet kid because, weight and all of that. But
Yeah.
Mike was the researcher. Mike was a new student to the kid, he was a new student to the school. He wasn't just a homeschool kid that appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He was actually the new kid in class. He stood up in class and he announced, what some of the interesting things about this town are the things that my father taught me. And the
Yeah.
thing, my father kept pictures and references of all the years, the explosions that happened, how people died every other year. He was the educator. He wasn't just the guy with the brawn. He was actually the guy that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had a
His
more
character-
crucial role.
Wow.
We have the same
That was
dislikes.
really upsetting.
because I feel like they just threw him in just to add a person
Yeah.
of color.
Yeah.
Kind of keep it like the original, but let's not really keep it
Exact-
like the original.
Wow.
Let's just
Yeah.
put him there.
Yeah,
Like,
so if
he
you had
barely
seen
got
him-
any lines. That's one character that
It was
got
a waste.
robbed.
Such
he
a
was a
waste.
waste of a character.
Such a waste.
And I feel like his character did nothing for the group.
No.
Like the way they could have not had him
They could
there,
have
and it
not
wouldn't have
had
made a
him.
difference.
So bad for me was I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie was not made for newcomers. This movie was definitely made for the fans of it.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything new to, I guess, they didn't do a good job of telling the story for a newcomer.
I'm very glad you said
And
that.
so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, what the hell
What's
is going on?
Knowing
I'm like,
that I've seen the movie so many times, I'm watching it, but I already know what I'm looking for.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like I know the storyline.
I'm like, what? And anyways, another thing that took me out of the movie was, although I did love the opening of the movie, and I loved Georgie when he was looking at him through the wall. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like this. I'm really gonna like this movie. But as soon as his arm got ripped off, I was like, what am I watching here? I don't know. It just took me out.
Yeah.
It
I
just
will
made
say,
it very
I didn't
almost cheese for me.
I was gonna say I don't think that they got as realistic as they could have.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
With-
that
yes,
bothered
yes.
me
I agree.
because now I'm like,
Agreed.
oh, I'm watching a Duppy movie.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Like I'm
I
watching.
wasn't
like,
expecting that to happen either. I wasn't expecting that to happen between the antagonist and one of the protagonists.
Yeah.
Like it kind of turned it for me too. Like it took some
So
of the
early.
imagination.
Yes.
So early, it took some of the imagination. Like, oh
Out
my
of
god, I
it.
don't know what's
Yes.
gonna happen.
And that was what
It's like,
happened.
oh my god, now I know what's gonna happen to all these kids.
Yeah.
But I had to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, well, if this is what it is, then this is what it is. But it's just
You
not
have no
my
prior
cup of tea.
knowledge, yeah.
You have no
it's not.
prior knowledge.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it's not
no.
my cup of tea. So I'm just gonna go in with what I've seen, and I'm just like, I'm not really feeling that. I would have liked a more grounded approach.
Yep.
but I don't know if that's what it is. So you're just gonna give us your verdict, like overall what you thought of the movie, and give us your rating out of 10.
Overall, good movie. Wanted to throw into my verdict that I did love the level of gore, and I think we said that, but I forgot to mention the fact that they actually cut Ben, like that Henry actually carved the H into his stomach is huge. Because in the original, it's just a knife held up to the kid, and he's like, should I cut him? Should I cut him? Mm-hmm. But sorry, with that being said, the rating overall, I wasn't disappointed. I don't want to be bad to it because it's it. Like, you know, I'll give it honest. I want to give it a 6.5, okay. But because Pennywise was so live, I'll give it a 7.
Okay, all right. My verdict is that I don't know if I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed parts of it. I enjoyed parts of the movie. I could have missed it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I didn't have to watch it. I expected more,
especially from someone who never saw it.
Yeah, so. I expected more from this. It like it's it. But overall, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give this movie a 6.5. I think it's a 6.5 to me. But I am interested in a sequel. Oddly enough. I really do like the fact that they push the boundaries with kids. I always love when they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that definitely brings it up. It gives it a background. They did a great job. The kids did a great job.
They did a great job. So I'm interested in a sequel, but I'm still going to give this movie a 6.5. So yeah.
Okay, so I overall
they're never gonna call you back.
What's that? You're not working on part 2. What?
Listen, that's 2 different sides of the table, okay? That's different. Anyway. So, overall, I love the chemistry of the kids. The storyline was whatever for me. Mm-hmm. Personally, it wasn't all that cohesive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was not.
So, you guys gave it a 6.5. That's what I was going to give it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it a 6 now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 6. Yeah. Because you brought up some valid points, and then you kind of made it go from 6.5 to a 6 because of all those points that you brought up, right?
I want to love it, man.
So, I'm going to give it a 6.
All right, so we got a 7, a 6.5, and a 6. That will do it for this episode of Cinema Circle. Tanya, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, it's been a long time coming, right? Season 2, halfway through.
Yeah.
And you're here finally.
Well, I mean, I had to be here for the horror, right?
Yeah, and you were perfect for this show. Kiki.
If you want to be a part of one of our shows, you can hit us up at our Gmail at cinemacircle1@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on our Instagram at cinema_circle.
Tanya, where can people find you online?
If you really want to find me online, Instagram, Miss T_XOXO, but it's really not that necessary. Yet! However, in the works, soon to be coming, will be a music review channel that me and a couple of my really close friends are working on. So it will be called Musically Yours, JTS. But it's not. We're not ready yet. We're coming. It's working. We're working on it.
All right. From everyone here at Cinema Circle, we want you to stay blessed and always keep it 100.
Everything that he said. Peace out.
Peace. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Also click like, share, and subscribe.